No wonder South Africa's the best team ex-Wallaby slams woeful All Blacks and Australia. One of several errors from Wallabies v All Blacks in Bledisloe as ball goes loose. Former Wallabies fullback Greg Martin cannot see Joe Schmidt's side causing an upset in Bledisloe too, despite describing both teams as woeful. Australia succumbed to their fourth defeat of this year's Rugby Championship after they went down 31-28 to New Zealand in Sydney. Schmidt's men started poorly as the All Blacks opened up a 21-0 lead, but the Wallabies almost snatched an unlikely victory following a second-half comeback. If you are a fan of All Blacks, go All Blacks in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Martin was not impressed with either team, but does see Scott Robertson's outfit improving and securing a dominant triumph in Wellington. We were woeful and the All Blacks became woeful. We dragged them down to our level. The All Blacks made so many errors, had so many tries disallowed, he told the platform. I've seen this script before. Yes, we got close, but if you look at the last 10 times where we've gone close or even beaten them in the first Bledisloe, they come back and give us a patty-whacking the next week. Robertson, will go, is everyone happy with themselves? No, we're not. Whereas the Wallabies, that's as good as we get. The All Blacks have got a lot more upside, saying that we could have bloody beaten them somehow. Sonny Bill Williams doubles down on Scott Robertson criticism as All Blacks great hits out at incorrect statement. Martin was particularly surprised at how open the game was in the first Bledisloe Cup tie, with both sides creating numerous chances and line breaks. It didn't look like test rugby at times. Everyone thought you've got to score 80 points in a test match. There wasn't a lot of grinding, was there? It wasn't old school test rugby, he said. The defense from both teams was woeful. No wonder South Africa's the best team, because they don't crack under easy pressure like our two teams do at the moment. I'm not looking forward to Wellington. I can just feel a hit back coming from the All Blacks. It is about creating so much pressure that the opposition burst. That Sydney clash wasn't test rugby. Have a look at the Springboks. Before they score those tries, they squeeze you like hell. Everyone should have learned a lot from last weekend, but I don't think our upside is as large as the All Blacks' upside. Schmidt was hired following the departure of Eddie Jones and has been tasked with taking the Wallabies back to the top. It has been a mixed 2024 so far, and more record-breaking defeats, such as the one suffered at the hands of Argentina, will bring about criticism. However, Martin would not blame Schmidt should it go awry, and nor does he have any issues with previous New Zealanders who have coached Australia. We can't keep changing coaches. Taking the Wallabies job, the next thing that happens is you get sacked. It's not a lot of fun, he added. These guys are great coaches, whether it's Robbie Deans, Dave Rennie, they're good coaches, but the Australian team is such a conundrum. How do you sort it out? I don't think we have the players. If you look at it player to player, how many would they have taken? 2 if we're lucky would make the All Blacks. In the old days, it might have been 6 or 7, and that's when we used to win games against them. But right now we haven't got the cattle. Summary. To wrap things up, Greg Martin wasn't impressed with either the All Blacks or the Wallabies in their Bledisloe clash, despite Australia almost pulling off an unlikely comeback. He criticized both teams for their lackluster performance, especially their defense, which he compared unfavorably to South Africa's disciplined play. Despite the Wallabies' poor form, Martin believes the All Blacks have a lot more potential to improve and expects them to dominate in Bledisloe too. He also highlighted the Wallabies' ongoing issues with player quality and coaching changes, suggesting that Australia's rugby challenges run deep. If you're a true fan of rugby and love following the All Blacks' journey, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Can the All Blacks bounce back stronger in the next match? Or do you think the Wallabies can finally break through? Wallabies players Jake Gordon and Marika Koroibete, and head coach Joe Schmidt. Following Joe Schmidt's team announcement for the Wallabies' second test against the All Blacks, here are the winners and losers from the 23-man squad named for the Rugby Championship clash in Wellington. Australia has kept changes to a minimum despite the All Blacks retaining the Bledisloe Cup for another year. Only 2 changes have been made, one of them enforced, as Schmidt looks to build a squad capable of competing against the world's elite. If you are a fan of All Blacks, go All Blacks in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Winners: Blake Peach. With Marika Koroibete injured, Peach steps in for his first test start after coming off the bench 3 times before. His performances for the Waratahs and impactful moments as a substitute have earned him this spot. Peach's speed and power, especially his final 20 minutes in last week's game, could make the difference. Jake Gordon. Back in the starting 9, Gordon aims to control the game where Nick White couldn't in Sydney. Tate McDermott's replacement role brought tempo late in the game, but Schmidt is expecting more from his first-choice scrum half. Gordon has been favored most of this year, and his ability to provide better control will be key to preventing another All Blacks scoring spree early in the game. Kailea. Schmidt's selections on the bench include this talented young loosehead prop. Despite missing the last 2 games, he impressed in the 20-19 win over Argentina earlier. This will be another big test for Kailea, but his potential is clear. Ben Donaldson. In and out of the lineup, Donaldson has started 2 matches for the Wallabies, with 3 other appearances off the bench. He's a solid option, but Schmidt will likely want to see more impact from him in these crucial games. Josh Flook. After 2 great performances in July, it seemed like Flook would be a bigger part of the Rugby Championship. However, he's only appeared once more, as a replacement during the heavy 67-27 loss to Argentina, which may have dented his chances. Still, Schmidt has given him another opportunity in the squad. Losers. Marika Koroibete. The star winger is sidelined with a wrist injury picked up in last week's game. While this forced Schmidt's hand, Koroibete hasn't been in top form during the Rugby Championship, and Peach's performance could keep him out for a while longer. Nick White. White's 2024 has been marked by inconsistency, and he didn't do enough in Sydney to hold onto his place. The Wallabies were overwhelmed by the All Blacks early on, and White couldn't control the game. Jake Gordon now steps in for him. James Slipper. At 140 caps, Slipper has been a legend for the Wallabies, recently surpassing George Gregan's record. But Schmidt's decision to drop him from the 23 shows a desire to find younger players to step up, as Kailea takes his spot. Corey Toole. Despite being one of the fastest players in Super Rugby Pacific and outstanding for the Brumbies, Toole still hasn't earned a test debut. His speed with the ball is electric, but there are areas in his game Schmidt wants to see improvement in. Carlo Tizzano. Tizzano was brilliant in filling in for Fraser McReight, but with McReight back, Tizzano has been dropped from the 23. Even with strong performances last week, Schmidt opted not to give him a bench spot, which will be a disappointment to many. The All Blacks, already retaining the Bledisloe Cup, are preparing for their second clash against the Wallabies in Wellington. Wallabies head coach Joe Schmidt has made 2 changes to the starting lineup, looking to improve on last week's performance. Want more updates on the All Blacks and the latest in rugby? Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single video. We're constantly bringing you the best of All Blacks rugby action and analysis. What do you think of these selections? Are you happy with Schmidt's choices? Or do you think some players were unfairly left out? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.